watching Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy, yeah, watching Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football need. Your football need. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. Sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. Your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy.
Welcome, 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 welcome. Sunday fun day, a day of peace. As you can see that I'm wearing a rare victory for my dear United. So it's a happy Sunday for me. Not happy for some other people, but happy Sunday for me. Even though we are in, road, as you can see from my headline, road to 40 points. So if you're joining us, before I introduce my guest, let's do a quick housekeeping. YouTube, FOOTIE Fantasy, one word. We are road to 1.3K. Thank you for all the followers, for keep liking, sharing, subscribing on Twitter, on our Facebook page, and everywhere on Instagram. Please continue to like, share, and follow. Twitter is FOOTIE Fantasy. Check us out there. We run a lot of competitions on there. Instagram is Fantasy Footy. And our lovely, lovely theme music is from our lovely friend of the show, Soji Obatusi. You can find him on Instagram at SJ Music. He's always making lovely, lovely intro music, So just check him out. Check him out. Now that that's out of the way, let's welcome our friend Benny the Prophet back on the show after a couple of months. Yeah.
Thank you for having me again. Yes, it's been a long time coming, but I've been away on sabbatical because of Chelsea. I'm back here.
You're
Once
back.
again, one love.
And our favorite Pep fanboy, Bayern fan, the only Bayern fan I know, Mr. Dyer. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, I see that you have a lag. I think
For
OK is
having me.
joining. Let's wait for him to join fully, then we'll bring him to the studio. Let's just dive right in. The big game of the week was Man City Chelsea. Game ended 3-1 in favor of City. What are your thoughts about the game, Benny, since you are the representative over here?
Thoughts about the game. Honestly, when we scored first, I was certain we were going to lose. I was certain we weren't going to win. Let me put it that way. I was certain we were not going to win. I knew the best we could get from that was just a draw, really, or would lose, really. But the way we lost, and then the fashion, the flaws, the recurrent flaws, Sanchez being Sanchez, clearly a lack of understanding in the back. Chalobah, who we just brought back, not understanding how to play with Colwell because he'd been away for so long, and just silly mistakes. It's starting to show what I kind of said from the beginning. I mean, there's a time when my fellow Chelsea fans were like, Benny was so wrong. Benny was so wrong. We'll roll the tape. When I came here and said, look, this guy is not. He ain't
You
all
could still
that.
be wrong, though. There's still 15 games
I
to
could
go.
still be wrong. Yeah, I could still be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying that for the longest time, it looked like I was wrong. But now it looks like Water is finding its level. Like the way we lost to Ipswich. We lost to
did.
Ipswich.
That was
Like we
crazy.
started their resurgence, like a little mini resurgence. That we started the resurgence. Because the guy makes there's certain things that he does that is just shocking. Like, okay, I know you like Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer is probably one of your best players there, but even Cole Palmer they tire. Let him rest. It's like ketchup, right? Sometimes you get to a portion where it's like empty. You have to shake it a little. That shaking is sitting him down, let him rest, let him recover a bit. But playing him forever, even when he lags around the field, walks around, he can't really, he's lost the energy and everything like that. It just shows how much of a rookie coach this guy is. I know he's had his whatever in Parma and in Leicester, but the story right now, funny enough, is kind of similar to what we see at Leicester, where what we saw at Leicester when they were in the championship. The first half of the season, stellar, and then the second half, the fans were like, this guy needs to go. When they even got promoted, when they said he was leaving, nobody batted an eye. They're like, whatever, he's going, he's gone, whatever. But they're getting to, I don't know if it's just his message with the boys, always coming and saying we're not in a title race, we're not in this, we're not in that. At some point, these young boys will start to believe it. We're not in this, we're just here for the small whatever. So there's no high like hopes, not hopes per se. They don't aim high. Like playing is lazy, and the style of play is starting to look very, very lazy now. With yeah, so that Oga Kwame. Thank you for the shout out. But yeah, the style of play is starting to look very, very just mediocre now. And we hit a good run there. So I like before this period. So we're going through a bad stretch right now. But I think water is starting to find its level. That's the thing. We have young players. We have players that are, talented, but not seasoned. We have a defense line that's just makeshifts really with pretty much, you know, second degree nurses at the back because they spend so much time in the sick bay. Or, we have people that don't really understand how to play together. Like Chalobah is a good secondary center back, not the main guy to stand. And Colwell, people that compared Colwell to Terry, wherever you are, it's Sunday. It's Sunday. Make a no swear for anybody. No, you can clearly see that it's an immature team, and we're back to where we were before in terms of like youth or inexperienced youth showing itself. So I'm not surprised. It's just sad that unfortunately I was right all along. So far, I should have put so far behind the accent there. Unfortunately, I was right all along. And my Chelsea guys watching this in my other groups, they will lambast me, but
Yeah.
I was right. It is what it is. Chelsea is just poor. Finding its level right now. We're finding our level. That's just the truth.
Okay. Dayo, I know you watched the game because I know we were chatting in our WhatsApp podcast group chat yesterday. What were your thoughts about the game?
Okay. Going into the game, I didn't know what to expect because City's results have been all over the place, especially how they got dominated over the midweek by PSG, by Bacola. And so you didn't know what City was going to come up. And, they've been short of, they are lacking in confidence, seriously. Like, they doubt themselves and you don't know what City to expect. So, but Chelsea too is now, while they had their own good times, but the results started to catch up with the quality of the squad. So I didn't know what to expect. So okay, it was fun seeing Mamouche crack the first shot in the first minute. Then next thing I saw Kusanov doing that mistake, gave Chelsea the lead. Within 3 minutes, it all was on the yellow, and things look like okay, this is going to be another terrible day for City again. When everything will just start going wrong for you. But Chelsea, the thing is, I don't know if Chelsea fans have discussed it, but Chelsea is lacking in quality. Those players, they are very young. Some of them are not even of the quality you think they will be. Some of them are looking at, in football, some football fans like to be futuristic. Oh, if this guy could be this good at 18, oh, Maldini, this will be another Maldini in 5 years, or this will be another Messi in 5 years. They now pack the team full of potentials, let's put it that way. All those future Maldinis and future Messis. But the reality is that they are still Colwill, they're still Levia, they're still Madueke, they're still young, and they might not even be up to what you're thinking of. And so what I'll say, if you look at the quality from goalkeeper, Sanchez was a third keeper in Brighton or something like that, or the deputy or third keeper in Brighton's Chelsea's first keeper now. The defenders, I don't know what's going on. Chalobah, they chased Chalobah out. They have to bring Chalobah back. Like, okay, these guys we chased you out for are even worse than you that we chased out. Oh, please come back. Those two French guys, those two Monaco guys, total disaster. Disasti and Badiashile. They are just like, they are not cutting it at all. Colwill is decent, but he's still too young. Tosin, it's just so they're too young for this, and it might actually be a problem, an issue with their quality. So maybe their quality is just not good enough. So after a while, City didn't play a good game yesterday, but Chelsea allowed them Chelsea was just Chelsea, and I don't know what Maresca was thinking. I'm yeah, I have my own Maresca in Munich too, in company, but he was playing a high line, and it wasn't pressing. It wasn't like I don't know who taught them that. Like, how can you play a high line and not press? And
And not
the
press.
funny thing, yeah, and the thing is about Chelsea is, as much as you like to hate him, Nicholas Jackson, the only thing he does is to press. And you now brought that pregnant man, Nkunku, that wasn't doing any of that. So, you are playing a high line, we're not pressing. So you are just like playing Russian roulette, like pick a pass if you can. And that was what they did. Like second and third goal, they just all your defense line were barely on the halfway line, and they were able to pick their pass through you. And I don't know who taught Maresca that kind of coaching, but well, that's all
Uh,
I have to say.
so just real quick, it was very funny as well how City set up. If you notice, a lot of the people making the runs were from deep.
Yes.
The fullbacks,
Mhm.
Gvardiol and who played left wing for them,
Nunes,
and
Matthias Nunes.
Matheus Nunes and Vad were always beating that line, always beating that
Yes.
line. So maybe it's one of those things that Maresca tried to copy off of Pep, but he didn't copy the full page. He just copied
He
part
didn't
of
wait
it.
for the full class.
He didn't wait for the full class. He just did, like, key points. Now back in the day, key points. You just
Yes.
oh, see, I studied for the exam. No, he just studied key points. He didn't study the full textbook,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the guy showed him Pepe. So
Before I introduce our new guest, let's take comments. Oga comment says, "So my favorite, shout out Benny and Dio."
Yeah.
Oga comment says, "Why was Chaluba brought back after you guys chased him away?" We'll let Benny answer that in a bit. So G says, "Benny the Prophet, please precise over Arsenal. Make we see if your power past EJ's costing power." Okay, don't go off the camera. Welcome, okay. One of our few United fans. He only comes on when United wins. United loses, and I invite him to the pod. All of a sudden, he has an errand to run. Okay, thank you for joining the pod. How you doing this Sunday, my brother?
Well. Sorry I'm late. I had to take my son's training. But yeah, if United had lost, I mean, I've just stayed there to watch them. But I just dropped them and rushed back home.
Any thoughts about the game before we talked about United? Any thoughts about the Man City game? Did you watch it yesterday?
No, I didn't watch it. I saw the score. But I think Chelsea are. I think Chelsea are going to be like that a lot of the season. They're going to be up and down. But where they are at the moment, I think is nobody expected it. So I think it's still net positive for Chelsea. To be honest with you, they lost, but I think next season Chelsea will probably put on a big title challenge.
Wow. Okay, that's a big shout. That's a big shout. My own thoughts to wrap up this section, and then I will come back to Benny to answer Oka Kwame's question about Chaluba. I watched the game, and like Dio said, funny enough, I've thought Maresca has done a good job so far, right? Because when I say good job, not just because of results, I've seen him adjust his tactics. I'm like, okay, this guy is adaptable. I remember one game you guys played against Brighton. He adjusted to Brighton's high line, like exactly what City did to Chelsea. He did it to Brighton. That game, I was like, okay, this guy is he adapts. He's not one of those people who like, oh, I have a philosophy. I'm going to die by my philosophy without understanding the game in hand, without doing game prep. Because you can have your philosophy, but you still have to do game prep. You have to tweak things. So I was like, okay. So, but yesterday I was really shocked when I was playing that highline. And I remember I posted on the chat that me and Dio are on. Like, what is this highline against Haaland and Mamouche? Like, what type of game prep was this? Like, even if you were doing that beginning, immediately you saw Mamouche and Haaland start, you change it immediately. Like, that is you are feeding into Haaland's hand, and that's exactly what happened, in my opinion.
Did City bring on Doku as well?
He didn't play at all. Doku didn't play that game at all.
Because I thought with a high line, that's made for Doku. Anyway.
No, they didn't play him. I guess they're resting him for midweek. So that's the only thing I guess major comment I have to do with that. Regarding Chelsea as a whole, I think Benny mentioned it. Maresca followed this trend in Leicester. I have a very good friend who's actually my neighbor who's a Leicester fan. So it's exactly what Benny said. The same thing he told me. Like he did this. He did very well beginning of season championship. Second half, they fell apart and almost did not win the league. They fell apart like a pack of cards. And when they were leaving, when he was leaving, he was like, he can go. He's one of those guys that he just wants to play out of the back. Same criticism I keep hearing. So I think I told my friend, Okoyemi, who's some of our mutual friends here, when we were talking about Chelsea early in the season, I said the greatest test of a manager, I think, in the Premier League is when they hit the bad patch, because I think when everything is good, you can ride the momentum, So I told him Chelsea's going to hit a bad patch. When they hit the bad patch, that's when I'll know how really good Maresca is. Like when you're riding momentum, that's fine. When you hit the bad patch, come out of it, that's when And for what I've seen so far, I think he's okay. I think he's an okay manager. I don't think an okay manager will get Chelsea to challenge for the league. Let's be clear about that, regardless of who they buy. So I think they might need a good manager, but who knows? We'll see. Those are my thoughts.
You started saying something that I was going to jump on you for, but then you ended it well. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know what Mr. OK is saying, but yeah, we're not challenging for any league anytime soon. Those boys are too inexperienced. The manager is inexperienced. So, and again, like that I was saying, those guys at the back, like when you set up a team full of youngsters, you can't have everybody as a youngster. There's a reason why you have balance. You have some old heads to like help the boys grow up, something to look up to, and you don't have that at Chelsea. You need that balance there, like some old guys, some young guys, some guys in the middle. So you see that progression really, but teaching them how to like dig deep, dig in, and like just that grit. You learn those things from like experienced players. But if you don't have that experience around, all you're doing is just schoolboy football, really. Schoolboy football. That's all they're playing right now. But to answer Darius' question about Chaluba, when they wanted to sell him, Chelsea fans were up in arms, like, why, to loan him out rather. They were up in arms, like, why would you let this guy go? He's clearly one of the better defenders we have.
Yeah.
And then it became obvious that we have, aspiring nurses in the back that just would rather stay in the sick bay than be on the pitch. And, when that became obvious, like, okay, we need to bring this guy back. So, in my opinion, I think those guys knew that this guy is good, but maybe there's some balancing the books going on there. Maybe they needed to like move some things around because it made no sense from any point of view to like let Chalobah go, especially since we had Disasi, we had Badiashile, we had half quarter a season Fofana, we had Rhys James, Mr. Sigbe himself, Maluk, everybody at the back except maybe Kukurea is like injury prone. Kukurea and Tosin and
Tosin and Cole.
Cole himself is a little injury prone. Injury they catch him sometimes. But point is that we could see that Chalobah was one of the sturdiest guys there, and he's one of the better defenders there. But they were willing to let him go, so it had to have been something about balancing the books. But when Jungle mature, like we say where I'm from, when Jungle mature, you come to your senses, and they finally came to their senses. But maybe it's too late because now we have Chalobah back. He doesn't really understand. He doesn't really understand how things like that chemistry is not there. He didn't build it from the beginning, and now he actually was at fault for maybe I'll say a goal and a half in that game. I wouldn't put the second goal on him squarely. It was mainly Sanchez, but he could have done better. The way he fell, knowing that Haaland was always going to cut back to his left foot. That's part of like I don't know. Maybe the chemistry is not there, but Chalobah was just a balancing the books thing. And you know how I feel about Todd Bowley and them. You know how I feel about the owners. You know how I feel about just the top brass there. I still think they don't know what they're doing. I think they hit a lucky patch here. But I think, like I said, Water is finding its level. You can't have a team of young boys and expect to perform and expect to win anything, to lift anything. You can't do that.
But let me just chime in. I understand what you're saying, but if you remember the old you win nothing with kids, right? Eventually they'll grow. And I think if Chelsea have some form of plan, and let's say they add two 60 million pound players, right? Like genuine world class quality kind of players. If they add them in the off season, then and the boys then grow, the young boys then grow together. That could be the formula. We saw it with I know it's many years ago, but we saw it with United. I think that young kids can win stuff, especially if you add those missing components that are integral to any title winning side.
Good point. But those, like I started from the beginning, you need that balance of like some older guys that are experienced, there. United, back in the day when you had the younger boys, you still had some like OGs there, right? You didn't just start with a team of under 25s. Chelsea has everybody except
Chelsea, I
wait,
think.
maybe last year we were like under 25, and they had a policy of like we're not buying anybody over to the age of 25. Had a lot of 20-year-old boys on like 10-year or 8-year contracts or whatever. I understand that they'll grow, but I'm saying that you deprive them of the growth they need if they don't have someone to like help them get there, in terms of like someone to look up to, someone to look and decide, okay, this is how you actually dig in when things are going wrong. When you look around and see all the Instagram boys like just down crest thinking, okay, we've lost or whatever. They don't understand how to dig deep. That's something that an older guy would probably know. You need that balance regardless. But like you said, if they bring some key players, some key experienced players, and not kids, then we can perform. But if they keep this continuous, only young boys, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're not winning anything. Anything.
Okay. Great. Well, let me take this last comment, then we'll move on to next topic. I've got comments that I think Chelsea fans like Benny are overreacting. I think you guys are decent overall this season. A blip like this is bound to happen. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Fair
Right.
enough.
I wish
Fair
you the same
enough.
coming. Which actually mine is going through worse, so I can't wish you the same.
That's
Wish you the
exactly
same is
right.
probably better.
Exactly.
So, it's okay.
In retrospect. So moving on, I guess the biggest transfer rumor has been going around in the EPL. So I guess we'll come to okay. Okay, what are your thoughts on Chelsea's proposed bid? Because Chelsea, let me be clear, right? Benny, Chelsea has not made any bid yet, correct? Right? There's no official bid yet from Chelsea. It's just been rumors so far.
It's just rumors.
Yeah, okay. So that's why I put it on. Thoughts on Chelsea's bid? Question mark. Okay, what are your thoughts? You want Garnacho to leave?
I saw the clip. I'm not sure if you guys saw the clip with Paul Merson, who said that United should go and drop Garnacho off and pick up Nkunku. That was it. He said that if it was United, he would drop Garnacho off and pick up Nkunku on the way back. Yeah, and I don't know. I've not seen much of Nkunku, but I am not a fan of selling your best young player. Now, when I say best young player, we have to realize this isn't United of 10 years ago. Best young player United 10 years ago was way better than Garnacho.
Yeah.
So Garnacho is not. I don't think Garnacho can be as he is now without like great development. I don't quite see what he is. Because I think I sent you a clip, Ayo, of Garnacho playing a few years ago, and he had pace. He doesn't look like he's got that pace anymore. And this was even before the switch, before he played as a number 10. Even under Eric Ten Hag, he wasn't as electric. He was electric when he came, but he's not quite electric anymore. And I think that if Chelsea offer 70, 80 million, United should take it. But I think it will set a horrible precedent that United's players are up for sale. And I also wonder what it also says to the young players, because you know me, I look at things more than just the figures. I look at more about what it does for the chemistry and the morale of United as a whole. And I think sometimes you have to put morale over chemistry. I mean, morale over money. So to cut a long answer short, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Man went through all that just to say, I don't know.
I don't know.
Dio, from the outside looking in, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it from three sides. From the point of view of Manchester United, from the point of view of Chelsea, and from the point of view of Garnacho. Well, from the point of view of Manchester United, okay, has already started with it. That Manchester United is losing a player that has a bright future, a talented player. I don't think 70 million or even will capture what Garnacho can deliver in the right environment. Now, listen to my last word, the right environment. I also don't think Manchester United is the right environment for him, because Manchester United has cultivated a culture of things are not working, they pick on the players. They just find the next scapegoat. Rashford is on his way out. Garnacho is next in line. It will be the color of the boots. the hearing, the stud on his ears, the style of hair he's making, the kind of girlfriend he has, everything about his life will be for a 21-year-old. How old is he? 21-year-old?
20.
Is 20. Like, it should still be developing. You should still like kind of bubble wrapping, be developed. But you will put all the frustration of the club. Oh, the roofs are leaking is because of Garnacho, everything. So he doesn't need that. So he's not going to develop in Manchester United. From the point of view of Chelsea,
but you can see, hang on, let me just say one thing just on that point you just made. But you can see why previously, okay, I think sometimes, and I'm not going to say that I agree with it. I think certain things players do when you're not performing agitate the fans even more. And you can see why, for example, under Alex Ferguson, players weren't young players weren't allowed to wear colored boots. They weren't allowed to drive sports cars, all that dyeing of the hair, all that kind of stuff. It was kind of like if the team isn't performing, you can just be in the background. But when you dye your hair blonde and you're always on social media, but the team's on a 3 loss winning 3 loss losing streak. For a young player, they need just to be able to just hide when the team isn't winning, and you kind of see the psychology of what the top managers think or the top clubs think, where they say, okay, well, you young players, you're going to park at the back car park. No Lamborghini, no Ferrari, no Rolex watches should be seen. It's just you just have to be in the background till you now reach that kind 23, 24, when you can then handle that kind of pressure. So I'm not saying Garnacho has brought it upon himself or Rashford, but you can see how fan culture, not just at United, but Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea, even at one point, Liverpool, when they weren't winning, you can see how fan culture can impact on players. Hence why United needed a stronger hierarchy to be able to lead the young players. Now it just seems like we're just messing up every young player that's coming through. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, well, I hear what you say, but you have to deal with it. You have to live in the world you're in right now. We are not in the world of Alex Ferguson anymore. Like, it's like you saying, okay, I don't know if you have teenage nieces and nephews or kids, they don't behave the same way you behaved in the 90s, in the 2000s. And that is the world they are in right now. You can't, my dad used to spark me back and forth. Oh, I'm you to go and kneel down by that. You can't do that nowadays. If Alex Ferguson is to come back in 2024, he will struggle with the current type of players we have in the world right now. He would struggle because these players are just not about that life anymore. They're not about I will trash you. Next thing they'll go flip TikTok and start trash talking you. So every coach is dealing with it right now. Vinicius is one of the best players in the world. Probably the best player in the world. He has his own problem. Ancelotti, I'm sure Ancelotti of 90s was telling the following day. But now Ancelotti will be the one even giving excuses for him. Even Pep, as strict as he is, he has to relax on some of these things. Like, okay, some of these guys are gonna act their age, and you just have to find a way. Because what's the next thing you do? You got Gadario and Vidic. It's good to have that warrior mentality, but these players don't have it. This is what you have, and you have to play with what you have. That's just it. So back to Chelsea. What plan does Chelsea have for anybody in their team? It's just like the only Chelsea plan is just to load the team with players, and maybe we'll just do a raffle, or just spin a ball, and something good will just come out of it. You say they are getting Garnacho. Look at the number of players in Chelsea. I'm sure Benny, who's a Chelsea fan, can't even list all their players. He probably can't remember. We'll just say, you guys, you're still in Chelsea. They have some kid in Brazil, Esteval, coming. They have some kids in Strasbourg in France. Santos, which they pack them here. They have Gui. They have Datro Fofana somewhere. They have Sterling somewhere. They just have them flogged all over the place, like you put in extra $50, $100 in case I need it. Right. So if they had Garnacho to this circus again, okay, what exactly is the plan of Chelsea for Garnacho? Man U is not the right environment for him. Garnacho deserves to go to a less dramatic environment. Old Trafford is too charged right now. Everybody, they are parrying for everybody. Everybody, so that's not the right environment for him. And Chelsea is not too. He needs to go to a lower profile club where he can make his mistakes. Nobody is critiquing him every step, so that he can develop. That's what I think.
Okay, very good points.
Coach
Benny.
Robert is toxic. Toxic. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's just
Yeah.
because you always think, oh, it's the player, it's the player, it's the player. Like I don't know who said it, but the first thing is just the default. Oh, the player is bad. The player is bad. But then you think, okay, you have high quality players coming here, and they just come here and like crap the bed. Maybe there's something wrong with, Manchester United as an organization. Something they need to worry about. And players of nowadays, all the coaches complain about it. TikTok players and Instagram players. You have to get with the times. Like the coaches that complain about that, they're not going to get anything out of them because players now are, the less attention span. They're not like the grown 23-year-old men of back then, like the Lampards, the Scholes, the Gary Nevilles, that the grown men in 22-year-old bodies. It's a different era now. So I mean, you got to get with that. So to expect a player to just like leave that part of it, just so that way he can appease the fans, that's a little unrealistic, really. Maybe they need to address. Maybe Man U needs to address some of the problems. But like that, I was saying, actually, if I'm Garnacho, and if I hear chair before I hear C, I'm going another way. Like, don't go, because the profile of players in that position, in that too many players in that wing, too many players like from the wings or whatever. Who is it? You come there now and you start playing second fiddle to Noni. No, I have something else about Noni Seth. Somebody at my Chelsea group told me, David. Hey, sorry to call your name out like that. David was telling me, oh, Noni's. I think he scored a hat trick one time, and then he was like, oh, if he keeps this up, he'll be like Robin. And then I said, he lacks the discipline or the skill to become Robin, and everybody flamed me. Look at them now. Somebody said Noni spends more time making sure his shorts sag than looking up to see if there's a pass to be had. He spends more time making sure his shorts are like, below his waist.
Oh,
So my point is, we have a lot of players, and Garnacho should not even try. And just for someone that wants the best for, as a anti-Messi fan that I am, and I know he's a pro Ronaldo guy. I want the best for him, and I think he has a lot of talent, but he needs to go somewhere where he can actually fully flourish. And there are smaller clubs there. He can go to like an Aston Villa if they want him, if they can afford him. He can go to some of the, maybe Bournemouth. He can want to be a star at Bournemouth. This resurgence Bournemouth that's beating everybody up and down.
Mhm.
Like
I'll go to
somewhere
Spain.
smaller, or
Just
maybe
go.
Spain. He would
He's
kill it in Spain.
Argentine. Mhm.
Yeah, he's Argentine. He would make, or Italy. Actually, Italy would be a
Yeah.
very good spot for him. But yeah, Manchester United is just toxic right now. And as much as maybe Man U fans don't want to accept that fact, that's what it is. You guys are toxic. No shade.
Like to jump off of that, like like I keep asking Manchester United, in the last 10 years, you've bought like 60 players. Can you mention 5 that were successful? People can't even mention 5 out of 60 that you, and these players were not. You can't say all of them are bad. Now take it to coaches
Exactly.
too. How many
The
coaches have gone
coaches.
through? Okay, so all the coaches since in the last 10 years have been bad. All the players have been bad. You can't mention 5 quality transfers in the last out of 60 in the last 10. So Garnacho, you won't be doing the, because next thing Garnacho will go. Okay, next thing will become, oh, Ahmad. He's signing is wearing a red boot, or he's signing for Nike instead of Adidas. And young players of nowadays from 7th grade, there is already about the number of Instagram followers you have from high school. So you are not going to change that. He's not going to delete his Instagram account because of Manchester United. So you have to just get with the program and deal with them the way they are, meet them where they are. That's all I'll say.
Well, I think the issue with United now and the young players is that it's too much too soon. They have half a good season and they get put on astronomical wages. You understand? Or they get, and there has to be. I think United are changing that philosophy now with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But I think that's what has gone on for the last 10 years. You have people who get, who don't want to leave, who are on too much money that they can't leave, and or no team will pay their wages. It's just very. I think that's the issue at United, is that, well, what's the incentive to play well?
That's fair. That's fair. Good point. Let's take comments, and then I'll say my thoughts. Hold on. I think the first one says, "Okay, I comment with all these nicknames." It says boy Rapino will never will never better than he currently is. I had to think for a second. Oh, Rapino, like a Rapino. You're not serious, like a comment. Boy Rapino will never better than he currently is. Sell him and take the money. But you can't sell him now. Summer 2026, he can leave.
He says that about every player, though, every young player. That's the thing. You
Yeah.
never tire Kwame. Every
Yeah.
single young player you said this about.
Don't mind
Like
it. Don't mind
Rashford
it.
was good, now it's bad. Look at you now.
Chelsea are not suffering from forward left players. There's bound to be Garnacho rumor. The Garnacho rumor makes no sense. I agree. Yeah, they have so many players. There's Sancho there. There's Neto can play there.
Neto.
Neto,
Noni can play there. Yeah. Modric can
too
play there.
many.
Yeah. It makes no
Noni.
sense. Like I said, now Hoyland, yes, come and collect. Akiola Adigu says, I'd like to see Garnacho go to Chelsea, but we need players on United. He can leave next season. But I'll take 55 to 70, 80. But I'll take 55 million. 70, 80 is unrealistic based on how we buy high and sell at ridiculous prices. My thoughts are, I don't think we should sell Garnacho just because you're trying to do a rebuild. You have to rebuild your young, talented pieces. And okay, hit the nail on the head. Yeah, nobody thinks Garnacho is young Cristiano Ronaldo or Rooney. Like, we know what he is, but he's a player that has a lot of talent. His underlying numbers show that. In Europe, I think he's like top 5 for under 23 or under 20. So I saw those stats for goal contribution. He has the potential. Now, agreed. Right now, United doesn't look like an environment that might develop it. But in football, I always say this a lot. And I told Dad at this earlier season when Dad was sending me memes a lot, because Chelsea was doing well, was sending me memes. I said, bro, in football, things can change very quickly in football. And I even gave Chelsea props when I told him. I said, look at Chelsea. You guys were 12. And all of a sudden this season, you guys looked, they look like comfortable top 14. So things can change very quickly. So my point is, United not looking at the environment right now that's developing. It might change next year. It might change in 2 years, right? Because I think as football fans, I always say this: we're either too high or too low on teams. When the team is doing well, your Chelsea fans were doing, they were making all those sly comments. Oh, we are not trying to challenge. They thought they were, but they wanted to act like what Liverpool fans used to do, making all those funny comments. Oh, we are not trying to challenge. Oh, don't. And when teams are doing bad, United fans, people lose their mind. Oh, all the players said, all of them, they are all terrible. Fulham have better score than us. They'll call Brentford have better score than us. I'm like, relax, guys. Just relax. The league is very competitive right now. Once one or two things in your team have issues, your fall or your ascent is always exaggerated. So I think you should not sell Garnacho. You should rather focus on the players that should clearly sell in the squad, right? The Casemiros, the Eriksens. That's what we should focus on, moving all those players out of the team. Rashford, who it's clear that both parties have decided to move on. You focus on that and move on players, and try to build the environment to build Garnacho's talents. I think that's what you should do. Now, I have one condition. Chelsea comes with a world record bid in like £90 million. Yes, absolutely. When a club wants to overpay, you take it and you run. You run away very quickly because that's what City did with Alvarez. They hurt for it. That's why one of the reasons they look bad, when they went to a bad patch. But when someone wants to overpay, you take it and you run. You run to the high and you make sure you invest it well. So those are my thoughts. I think I already took his comment. Okay, let's move on to Champions League. Champions League, as in, I like to call that Mr. Champions League guy because he's a resident Bayern fan, so he doesn't get to talk about Bayern that often. Diane, from your opinion, who has been the best player of these group stages, and what's your biggest surprise of the group stages?
Well, the biggest surprise of the group stage is the same surprise. Is the team that Michael Richard likes a lot.
I was about to say. I knew you were going there.
Yeah, because I doubt anybody here knows any player from that team, whether in the past or currently.
Maybe in the future, sir.
What's the team's name?
Benny, can you help me with that?
Help you what? No, I think your microphone is working well.
The Perky team. Just say it, Breast. That's their name, Breast.
Breast, yeah. Breast.
Yeah, nobody knows anybody from that team. Nobody, we've never heard of them before. I don't know any player in their past. I don't even know how they got to the Champions League, and they're doing okay. Yeah, you'll be expecting that they'll be bottom of every group or everything. But they're like, are they not 13th position? So
Yeah,
let me check that.
they're 13. They're
Mhm.
13.
Yeah, and when historic clubs like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, all of them are down the table, and Brest is Brest is staying firm. Brest, Brest, Brest is up there.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Pun intended. That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Brest is up there, and they are doing great. That shows they can handle the pressure, the high pressure of the Champions League. Yeah,
And
teams like that.
the ironic thing, sorry to interrupt you. The ironic thing is in their league, they're doing badly in Ligue 1, in the French league.
Mhm.
Wow.
So who's the best
Yeah,
player?
like the best player, I would say this season I've been so in the Champions League as a whole. I've been surprised by Rafinha. You know,
Mm.
towards the end of last season or middle of last season, everybody thought this was just a terrible player. Like, he wasn't doing anything at all. Like, then this season I saw him with the captain band first, and he's been doing great things for Barcelona. So I think I'll pick Rafinha.
Okay. Yeah, he is. He has
And
8 goals.
another surprise of the Champions League was Manchester City, if we can call it a surprise at this point anymore.
Yeah. Because then right now, if the Champions League ended right now, they crash out completely. If it
Yes,
ends
they
right
are
now,
25th.
they're 25th in the league.
So
Yeah, you're right
they have
about
to
Rafinha.
win. They have to win and hope results go their way to
That's
stand a
true.
chance of getting the playoffs.
That is very true. Yes, Rafinha has the highest goal contributions right now in Champions
Yeah,
League. He has 10 goals and assists. Man, that's
yeah.
fantastic. Benny, what's your thoughts?
Champions League it's been quite fun, but I think I would give my favorite right now. I'd say what Liverpool is doing, both in the Champions League and in the Premier League, just a year removed from, not even a year removed from Klopp, but like the first season of Ancelotti, or however you pronounce that last name, Slut or Slot, whatever. Um, it's been quite impressive, with dominating performances, at home and abroad, So I think I'd have to give Salah there, who's performing well. I think that trip to Turkey has done wonders. He's recovered his mojo, his hairline,
It's Alan, yeah.
and Homeboy is out there just playing out of his mind, like one of the top players in the world right now. It's crazy, but I mean, we take it for granted because we see him here and there. He always seems to fly under the radar, but that guy has been playing out of his mind, balling out of his mind. Yeah, so I'll give it to Salah there. And
Okay.
like Man City, the surprise. I think Man City. Everybody's hoping. I think all the top teams are hoping Man City loses, because that would be a hell of a 24th seed to like pair with the number one seed. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So
That's true.
they're hoping he loses. They lose rather. So yeah, that'd be interesting to see how the last game day goes.
That's true. That's a good point. I guess okay, but I'll just go with mine. When to okay gets back. I think you guys have mentioned on. I want to give a shout out. I'll say Lewandowski is going
Mm.
to highest goal scorer. He's on 9 goals for Barca. The other person I've been impressed with, because I've been watching Atlanta games because of our boy Ademola
Hey.
Lookman. But the person I've been impressed with the most, no, it's not even Ademola Lookman.
No, Lookman. Yeah,
Is Charles De Catalare.
they can tell how
That
you say that
guy.
name. That boy's
Woo!
the baller.
And I remember he didn't flop. He was a flop from like Milan or something. If I remember.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, he did
Milan.
well in Milan. Yeah, before he came there. And he turned his career around. I like watching him so much, And especially if he scores, just the stadium announcement is like very, very, like Italian teams have that thing where they
Yeah,
call the
where
first
everybody
name
like says
Yeah.
first name and
and
then the crowd.
the crowd says the last name. Chelsea. When they say it, I'm just like, wow. They say the Catalane. It's very like unique to me. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is fun. So that's such a fun team.
Yeah.
I think biggest surprise, you guys have mentioned it. Man City, and PSG. Let's talk about PSG too. I know they finally turned around and beat City in the last game and they're like 22nd, but they've been terrible throughout the Champions League run. They've been terrible. And when you compare the amount of resources that they've expended, that they have, they spent close to, well, this summer, like close to 200, they bought a lot of players. They brought in João Neves, and they have not just buying it up, they have a lot of talent in that team. A lot of talent, to the point that they're able to loan out Kolo Muani to Juve. They have a lot of talent. And I think another big surprise on the negativities is Juventus. Let's call it a spade, man. Thiago Motta, I don't know what haram football is playing in that place. This guy up until this weekend, they are not lost, but they already had like 14 draws or something like that. You know, and where are they right now? Juventus is 17th. Yeah, that's like they're barely hanging in there with haram football. So yeah, I'm not impressed with Thiago Motta, considering how well his team looked for Bologna. Yeah. When I watch Juve games, it's like, yeah, boring. He wants to play this old Italian boring football. Yeah, I'm not impressed with him. But I think those are my thoughts. I don't know if okay is still there.
Yeah. My surprise is Liverpool. The thing with Liverpool fans is I have a very close friend. He's a Liverpool fan, and I keep telling him no excuses. And all Liverpool fans says no. That they might not win anything. Liverpool in the position they're in, I don't want to hear anything at the end of the season. You guys are in prime position for the treble. I don't want to see any excuses. You're the best team in Europe right now. No excuses. The treble has to be on the table. But whenever you mention that to a Liverpool fan, they'll just say no.
So the quadruple is on the table. In all four, the quadruple is on the table right now.
Yeah. There's no excuse. There's
nothing like Man U fans to be setting high standards for teams above them.
Listen, when you, in the years when United have gone for the treble, in the 2 years have gone for treble, United fans will speak about it. There's no like, oh no, it's hard, it's difficult. No, right? Barring that FA Cup defeat against Portsmouth, United would have won the treble in the 08. You know. So I don't believe that that I believe anyway. So anyway, that's my surprise. And then obviously City as well. I don't know what's happening there. I have my theories. There are theories on social media as to why they're playing like the way they're playing. I'm sure we've read them, but I don't want to speculate and get Ayo sued. So
yes, please. You can speculate. Just add allegedly in front of it if you want to speculate.
But who knows what's going on there? It's just I think they'll get through, because if you look at the teams ahead of them, I think that they should. I think they're playing. Who are they playing in the last match day? Isn't it one of the teams that's directly ahead of them?
Club Brugge.
Yeah. So if they beat Bruges, I think Bruges drop out and they could drop in.
Correct. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, so City will beat Bruges in Manchester. Let's but it's still been a surprise. And the player of the tournament for Champions League, admittedly, I don't watch a lot of Champions League because at that time of the day, on a Wednesday, I have meetings. On a Tuesday, I'm in the office, so I don't watch. I haven't been watching Champions League as much as I used to. But I think for the tournament for the Champions League this season, I wouldn't be surprised if it went to Salah, because I think Salah is going to put up numbers in both the Champions League and the Premier League come the season end.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Daya, why is Vincent Kompany on fraud watch? Just quickly. You want to know why?
Well, the thing is the Maresca thing too. Is our own Maresca. So the thing about Kompany is just so ridiculous with his philosophy about how to play the game, about how to play high line. His high line is so high that it's in the opponent's half. It's like, but he has not forgotten that you cannot be offside in your own half. There was a point in the opponent's half. There was a point Feyenoord was countering us with 5 against 2. because of that insane highline. And it's just so ridiculous that he wants to just play. And the thing, okay, when I was on a Discord group and I was telling them, in the Champions League, we played against one club, Zagreb. We beat them 9-2. They had 3 shots on target, they scored 2. Against Aston Villa, they had 2 shots on target, they scored 1. Against Barcelona, they had 4 shots on target, they scored all 4. Against Feyenoord, they had 3 shots on target, they scored all 3. So in those 5 games, in those 5 or 4 games, they had 12 shots on target and they scored 10. You are putting your defenders in a bad spot. If your opponent's conversion rate be that high, that means you are putting your defenders in a very bad spot. When you have to run, when you have a free run of 60 yards on your goalkeeper, Neuer is still in goal. Okay. If you put Vidic and Nesta there,
you are giving up high quality chances.
Very high quality chances. Because even if you put Nesta and Vidic and you put them in that kind of ridiculous, and they have to catch up with 5 defenders countering you at the same time. And he has this stupid, not informed, in my own opinion, that the more people you crowd into your opponent's box, the higher your chances of scoring. Actually, no, they get in each other's ways. And the thing is, it encourages the defenders to sit deeper. What happens if you drop your high line a little bit and encourage them to come out a little bit so that Olise, Musiala, and this guy Gnabry, Sane, we have spaces to
run in,
to work with, to run into. But you won't just want to calm them. It's like playing the Python tactics. Like, the more you squeeze them, you compress them, maybe they will give up. Well, it works in some days, maybe a deflection, an own goal or something. We just put the ball in there. But the moment they are able to lump the ball, it now becomes a foot race. How can you have 12 chances and the opponent is scoring? Concede 12 chances and your opponent is scoring 10. That means you are considering high quality chances, and it's not going to work. Those are who are the teams? We are talking about Feyenoord. We are talking about Zagreb. Against Benfica, he didn't concede any chance, so he didn't concede any goal. Maybe that's his idea of philosophy of football.
But isn't Neuer still in goal?
Neuer is in goal.
You know what's very interesting? What's very interesting what you said? Because I watched the highlights. I was like, wow, the amount of chances that Bayern missed in that game. I was going to say people are unlucky, but when you put it that way, when you give the breakdown from like a couple of games, so that cannot be unlucky anymore. It's just giving up too much high quality chances. The other part is, I want your apology to be as loud as I told you this beginning of the season, Dio, about company. I said, hey, I'll be there when you're going to start taking company out. Okay, it's okay.
We want to. Well, it's still on fraud watch right now. I hope he can turn it around, but we want one of our people to be there. At the top clubs, and he got this opportunity, and I think he should do better. I was hoping he would do better, but let's hope he will still turn it around. The final is in Munich. We want to be in the final.
It's a long way to go for sure. So, I think anything can happen. It's a long way to go. Let's take comments and move to, I guess, our second to last topic. Kwame says the Catalarian riders were both dead at Milan. Both of them balling now. Yes, that's true. Thanks for reminding. Tijani Riders. I really wish they're not in position to get any talent, but I like the ball. He's really good. Akiola Adiku says company's highline is so bad. It makes my bald head look okay. A man said his highline is smoking weed. Okay. This is my transfer window season. I said, you know what? Let me look for a unique question. Like all-time, one of those all-time questions, like that always goes on Twitter. I call it, these are like typical Twitter questions. So, in your opinion, Benny, who is the best January transfer window of all time? It doesn't only have to Premier League. And that's why you should have done your research. I should have done my
research. Well, when I read that question, I didn't think of the best. It was the worst. I thought of first.
Okay, you can give us yours.
From Chelsea's perspective.
Okay.
I remember when this guy was tormenting Chelsea. Anytime he faced us, just torment us.
Fernando Torres.
Calm down now. Let me lead up to the just ruin my whatever. Tormenting Chelsea for years.
Oh, God.
dealt with Vidic, dealt with John Terry, dealt with all the top defenders in the league.
Yep.
I mean, like the only striker that I saw made Vidic like not himself, like shaking, like what's wrong? Is it juju? Then Roman, as per Roman Don, he said, okay, I want that guy on my side. Brought him to Chelsea, and then began this long story of sadness and disappointment. And man, anyway. So to be fair, I haven't really looked at the best January transfers. I didn't really look much, but the only one I just thought of the worst one, and I just stuck on. I got stuck on that. Like, okay, this guy actually came for 50 million pounds when it was unheard of. Showed up and didn't score for how many games, and literally had his teammates praying for him before game starts, like laying hands to pray. David Luiz had his hand on him, praying for him on camera, and you know what? He didn't score. So yeah, that was a head scratcher for me. Not just because of the call. I mean, I like the fact that he went for Roman went for him, but it was just perplexing to see how someone that was so prolific, someone so deadly, would just go to nothing. Maybe it's true. Maybe Drogba put a juju on that number 9 jersey and said, okay, as long as I'm here, no number 9 is going to perform. And since then, we haven't had a good actual jersey number 9 or whatever. So I don't know. I think that was that's the only thing that came to mind, really. I know you said best, but the worst one was the first thing that came to mind.
Okay.
And
Okay. Fair enough. Dario, who's your best January transfer of all time?
Of all time, I would say Marcelo, Real Madrid left back, Marcelo. Yeah.
oof,
Um,
that's a tough one.
a club like Real Madrid that had Roberto Carlos and that had all the greats, and for you, he came in from Brazil,
Yep.
2000 and mid 2006 or 07, teenager, and at the end of his stay in Madrid, is one of the Madrid first 11. I mean, first 11 of all time. That says a lot about what you have to do to break Madrid first 11 of all time. And from nowhere, yeah, I would say Marcelo. Big shout out to Vidic, because for the price he came. Because for me, Vidic is my best Premier League defender of all time.
Oh wow.
And for coming at 9 million or 11 million, yeah,
11 million.
Yeah, 11 million. Yeah. That's from CSK Moscow, somewhere like that. And he hit the ground running.
He did.
So, yeah, so I'll say Marcelo.
Although his first game was kind of shaky. You know the point about Marcelo, his first 2 years, because some of my friends know this, someone who have known me a long time, that we all lived in Nigeria together. I used to be a dual fandom, United fan, and I was a Madrid fan. The first 2 years of Marcelo was very shaky. I remember those years. We used to go
remember.
We used to get mad. I would go out at night to go to a viewing center.
Short hair Marcelo. Short hair. When he had that short hair.
His first thing, he used to make terrible defensive mistakes. He was good going forward. Defensively, he was terrible. But yeah, he eventually like patterned himself up.
And Marcelo will play number 3 like he's playing 10. He will play 3 like he'll play like a playmaker. Like
yes,
he'll be canceling players from that 3.
Yeah,
his confidence on the ball is crazy.
Yeah,
like his touches and everything. This guy is a baller. He's a true Brazilian.
Yep.
It was definitely true Brazilian. This comment actually says one I wanted to say. I think it's Virgil van Dijk. I think the way Van Dijk revolutionized Liverpool's defense when it came that January of 2008. Without Van Dijk, there's like all the achievements that they achieved. And
2008?
Yeah, I think it's 2008 he came. Yeah, it was 2008. It was 2008. January 2008, I remember.
2019 or
2018, you mean?
Yeah. 18, sorry, 2018.
I was like,
January 2018. The difference between that Liverpool defense, pre-Van Dijk, post-Van Dijk, it was like overnight, yes. I remember that thing very well. It was because it used to be what? It used to be Dejan Lovren and was it Skeeter? I forgot
Skeeter.
They were terrible, and Millie Van Dijk came. Wow, that transformation, I think I led them to a Champions League final. I know they still lost to Madrid, but yeah, Van Dijk, they paid £75 million, and because of the pressure, that's the other reason. When they paid that money, all of us, of course, rival fans were piling pressure. 75 million.
Maguire, we was going to buy one, and you landed on Maguire.
You people the amount of pressure that people piled on them, that people have wasted money. Everybody thought they wasted money. Most people thought so. But yeah,
Right.
Ali has been imperious for Liverpool. He has been.
Honorable shout out to manager Thomas Tuchel. Came in
Oh,
halfway.
your boy
Came in halfway.
TT, your
And
boy TT,
TT, my boy TT, came in halfway overnight. You can see the difference.
and won Champions League. That's fair.
Won Champions League.
That's a big one. Coming halfway, I agree.
Right.
I'll continue the next league.
Roberto Di Matteo did the same thing.
I mean, that one was you know how
the material zone is different though. That the material zone, you know, it's the
even
players
Chelsea
that
fans
won
will
it.
tell you.
It's
Like,
the players that
okay,
won it for
yeah.
them.
Guy
It was
came
Drogba, Lampard that won that Champions League.
Those guys won it, but this one you could tell this guy came in with the flow, like his idea in his mind. The very next day they're playing. Di Matteo was more like, okay, guys, we can do this, you know, and we can do it all the way up to the trophy. And then afterwards, Water found its level.
Fair enough. And he still came third. Fair play to him. The next season he came third with Chelsea. So that was still very decent, considering all the things he had to deal with, I think.
All right.
Akiola says Suarez and Van Dijk. Suarez, yeah, Suarez. Woo! That's why I signed from Ajax. Yeah.
Boy,
don't like his personality. Bruno too, yeah, but a lot of
I beg you, which Bruno.
Bruno signed in January, turned United around. He did. I remember that.
Turn around to what? He was turning on his own.
United were sixth when Bruno came.
He was turning on your own. Nothing
because of Bruno,
turning on your own.
We finished third and we finished second. The closest United have come to challenging. The closest was Bruno when Bruno and Pogba link up. There was something there for a brief couple of months where we eventually ended this in second. We're top of the league now. Under Bruno Ole, we're top of the league till February. Then we crumbled.
He ended second or third?
Second. The season that we're at the top of the league till February. Then we crumbled after Pogba got injured. But yeah, I think we'll end on our regular kudos and donkey of the week. Kudos and donkey of the week. Benny, who do you give your kudos and who's? Let's start with kudos. We'll go around.
Kudos. The entire AFC Bournemouth. Actually, no. Let me just give it to the coach. But bruh, that team is something else. And I was looking at who they beat. Like they're beating the big boys. The big boys in the.
There's a new saying. There's a new saying. Every team is a good team until you play FC Bournemouth. They've beaten Arsenal. They've beaten City. They've beaten United. They've beaten Newcastle. They've beaten Forest. They hammered them 5-0. Forest had the best defense.
5-0. Like Nuno is known for being stingy with goals. Very stingy.
Yeah.
He gave up 5, and that boy Patrick's son, Kluivert. That boy's gonna be a problem. That boy's gonna be a problem, man. Justin, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. But yeah,
your manager beat him though, so respect your manager. He beat Bournemouth.
It's just small.
He beat Bournemouth. You see.
That was before they clicked.
That beat two-faced. He beat Bournemouth though.
That was before they clicked. I beg, That was before they clicked. He beat. Honestly, I know I clown Maresca a lot, but he, like I said, his first whatever. I guess his philosophy was maybe there's just a shelf life on his way of play. That every half of the season like this, you start misbehaving. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a curse. Maybe it's just
teams figure things out, right? And that's how
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what
prep,
it is.
They look, they do video analysis, figure out where your weaknesses is. Then now you have to react. And that's how.
Yeah, I think they play Bournemouth on. They play Liverpool. Bournemouth plays Liverpool next week. I can't wait to watch that game. I can't wait to watch that game.
A title, in my opinion, that's almost like a title decider. Because if Liverpool beat Bournemouth, I think the league's done.
Nah, even if they lose, they're still good. I think they're still good if they lose.
Football
might be shaky, but
it's Arsenal now. It's Arsenal chasing them.
I'm not talking about Arsenal. Why is everybody thinking City can go on the run?
No. City is still how many points between City and Liverpool? 12 points out. That's true.
Come on, Liverpool won't mess up that much.
Stranger things have happened. The one person I will never write off is that bald man called Pep Guardiola. And the talent that he has, I will never write Pep off. If you want to write him off, that's okay. I've seen that team claw in 2018, 2019. They clawed 11 points back on Liverpool.
From who? Who was
Liverpool? To win the league, to 18-19. They clawed 11 points back in this, but that was way earlier, not now, not this late. It was in
Okay.
December. They were
Yeah,
11
yeah.
points.
Oh, I
They had
remember,
a-
I remember, I
to be
remember, I
fair, they had
remember,
a
I
game in
remember.
Because
hand.
this
They had
is
a game in
this
hand.
is
They had a game in
Liverpool
hand.
has a game in hand.
It was
So
a
this is
shaky 11
potentially
points.
15 points.
Oh, that's
No,
true.
no,
You know
this
what?
is
It's over. It's over.
everybody's
It's over.
like no,
It's true.
everybody's
Liverpool
on the
has
same. Oh
Liverpool
yeah,
has
they
the
have a
game
game
in
in
hand.
hand.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. It's
Mhm.
over. And it's Everton. Yeah, it's over. Okay, Daya, before we debate, kudos. Kudos first.
Kudos of the week. Kylian Mbappe. Looks like the toddle has turned it around. Like, everybody, we were all, a lot of people were eager to see him fail.
Right.
But, he got his hat trick. Looks like he's getting back into his best. Yeah, well, let's see how he combines and what Madrid is able to do in the Champions League. So that's my kudos for the week.
Okay. +1 to Andoni Raiola because I
Mhm.
think it's very hard to have a team with Bournemouth's talent. Even though I think they did good recruitment and everybody slept on who they hired. I think it's very hard to have the much greater and play the way they play because they even attack you. They press you high. They don't do like sit back, haram football and counter. They come at you. They press you high, win the ball, and they disrupt. Like, it is very, very smart what Andrea Iraola is doing, where it's like everybody wants to build out of the back. Most teams, good teams, want to control possession, do all of that. But they build out of the back. But yeah, so let's go to Donkey of the Week. I'll pause myself. I have to get this call. Benny, what's your Donkey of the Week?
Donkey of the week. I'll have to give. It's weird to give it to them. I was torn between City. I was gonna say City, but then they messed up Chelsea, so I think. But I'll have to go with Spurs. Spurs are going Spurs. Spurs are like close to relegation battle right now. They are close to a relegation battle right now. Spurs. So maybe maybe Angie needs
Okay,
to.
Spurs is your donkey.
Yeah, Angie might be on. Not might be. I think he's on the hot seat right now, which is
I think
strange
you get fired.
considering
I think you get fired.
he should be fine. He should be fine. But then again, he just lost to Everton today. Like, okay, 15th.
No, Leicester.
They have
He
a
lost
lot
to
of
Leicester.
injuries, to be fair, though. They have
Is it
a
Leicester?
Leicester.
No, sorry,
Yeah,
Leicester.
he
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
to Root.
They have
Brighton
a,
lost
they
to
have a
Everton.
lot
You're
of
right. Brighton lost to
they
Everton.
have a
Sorry.
lot of injuries, to be fair. They have a lot of injuries. The whole backline is gone. They have a lot of
Man,
injuries. That's a lot of
I
injuries.
gotta say.
And
I
they
think
have a
they're
lot.
probably going to
Their
give him
striker is done
to.
too. Sri
They're probably going to give him to this return leg of the Carling Cup.
If he keeps going down, I mean, it's kind of hard to see.
They have a lot of injuries, though. Just caveat. Those injuries are a lot for a very thin squad. Their whole backline is injured. Their number 9 is injured. They have a couple of midfielders injured. That's a lot. I think that's a lot. For this Premier League, this current state of Premier League, I'm not making excuses for him. It's been poor, but their injuries were poor. So let me speak about poor. It's a lot. I think it's a lot.
I'm sorry. I'm looking online right now, and I'm looking at some injuries. James Madison's injury overload.
Like
Come on, come
Danfo.
and see.
It's over
Come
like
and see.
Danfo Molue.
We're in the Benny. Donkey
Donkey of the week is the Spurs of Germany, Borussia Dortmund and Nuri Sahin. Yeah, Nuri Sahin has been fired after four games lost in a row, not won a game this year. So he has to go, and their play is just so terrible. He just has to go. Like he's not doing anything in Dortmund. So it's unfortunate that Leverkusen has actually established themselves as a legit contender to Bayern now, and Dortmund is falling behind every week. So heartbreaking. They used to be like play entertaining football. Their football is dire. Their results are terrible. Everything is just going bad for them.
That's my second team. All my teams are in the mud. All my sports teams are in the mud, to be honest. All my sports in Dortmund, United, Green Bay Packers, San Antonio Spurs, all of them. All my teams are in the mud. My donkey is, I think, it's Juventus. In my opinion, I don't understand what they're doing with Thiago Motta. Like it's too negative. That's mine. It's just too negative. It's annoying when I watch it. And I think second one is Maresca. I thought that tactics yesterday was very weird. I thought it was weird. Sanchez too, plus Sanchez. That was terrible. That second goal. What was he doing there? Why is he coming out there? So yeah, that's my donkey. I have to run, so we're going to call it here. Benny, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Welcome
Always a
back to
pleasure.
the country, Mr. Dio.
Back.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming. Everybody
Thank
in
you.
the comments, people have been fantastic. Like, share, subscribe. Again, road to 1.3K. Thanks for all your support, guys. And we are out.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. You're watching Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go